during school days, because academics or getting certain kind of marks are so emphasized upon that a lot of students with other interests, they're not able to pursue that or excel on those. I think it's also a little bit of a critique of the Indian education system, and I think this favoritism, okay, this is an academically gifted child, we should support her, only let her go to all the debating competitions. I think this has to stop. Please don't take mediocrity, other society tells you, to be the dominant factor in your life decisions. So I do believe in the growth of the community. So as I have come to London, I would like a lot of people from my state, especially from vulnerable backgrounds, to make it here as well.
Namaskar and welcome back to SapnoKePankh When Dreams Get Wings. I am Rituraj and we are on the section 3 of these discussions with our guest this time, Sanjana Chettri from the beautiful state of Northeast, Sikkim. If you have not watched section 1 and section 2, I would really urge you to go through those 2 episodes because such an interesting journey that Sanjana had from that small village of Sikkim to Delhi University and then to Soas, London. Yes, I am at the Soas campus, School of Oriental and African Studies, and Sanjana is doing her master's. She is Chevening Scholar. Before, as the norm, we connect with a student in India, and we'll be talking to another student from Sikkim in our episode today. But before that, as is the norm, I would like to felicitate Sanjana with this beautiful gamocha from the state of Assam. And on behalf of whole of India, this is my way of telling Sanjana that we are so proud of you. We are so proud of all the inspirations that you are now showering across to many students from India, and we are so proud of you, Sanjana, and wishes for go and get it, girl. Shine high and rise high, and then make us feel so proud of you, Sanjana.
Thank you so much. This is so sweet.
We'll connect now over phone with a student who has just completed her law. Her name is Rachana and she's with us on the phone line. Rachana, hi. Welcome to the show, Rachana.
Hello. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. So, Rachana, I have Sanjana with me now, and we are at the School of Oriental and African Studies in London. You had 2 questions. What is your first question, Rachana?
Okay, so my first question is that the opportunity to study abroad is a far-fetched dream for many, especially for average students who do not have excellent academic track record. For students who belong to this category, is this dream of studying abroad still attainable?
Okay, before Sanjana responses to that, Rachana, let me share my thoughts. SapnoKePankh is about such students as well who have had mediocre results in the 10th and 12th to as low as 2nd division. So I have met students who got a 2nd division in their 10th, and everybody said, you are not fit for science, study arts. But उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, if I do arts, I'll not even pass. I love maths and I love physics. And let me tell you, that 2nd division student has actually gone ahead and done his master's in IIT, one of the IITs of India. He has done his PhD in one of the top-notch science institutes, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. He came to Cambridge for his postdoctorate. And finally, you know what? He has also got an offer from IIT Kanpur. But he had to refuse that offer, Rachana, because he got another offer from another top-notch university in London, and he's right now working in that university in London. So I'll let Sanjana respond to that quickly, but Rachana, that's how it is. हमारी जो एक शो है, हम लोग दिखाना चाहते हैं कि आपको हमेशा से अच्छे results ही होना ज़रूरी नहीं है. You can be, of course, having brilliant results is good, but even if you don't, you can still, score really high, go really higher up, go abroad, do your studies, get a scholarship in your later academic career. What is it, your thoughts, Sanjana, your experience?
Yes. So I don't quite like the word mediocre, to be honest. Like, what is mediocrity and who defines what?
It's relative.
Exactly. So I know a lot of people actually who were mediocre per se during their school days, but went on to become excellent in the field of their expertise or the field of their interest. I think the point here I'm trying to make is that we all have certain interests that we're so passionate about and that we're really, really interested to pursue. What happens is during school days, because academics or getting certain kind of marks are so emphasized upon, that a lot of students with other interests, they're not able to pursue that or excel on those. So I feel like I think it's also a little bit of a critique of the Indian education system. Favoritism, okay, this is an academically gifted child, we should support her, only let her go to all the debating competitions. I think this has to stop, because confidence and mediocrity, all of these are brewed during your school days. I feel every student will excel at something or the other, so then we won't have mediocrity as a problem. So I feel a lot of people who in their later life are able to sort of pick up their interest in either physics or mathematics or social sciences or political science, it is only because after a point they get away from the shackles of the boundaries of tight education system in schools, and they're able to pursue those. So I would urge you, find that interest, excel, pursue that, and I feel talk to other people who have gone through similar phases in order to relate to your story, but please don't take mediocrity or what teachers or other society tells you to be the dominant factor in your life decisions.
So don't let it bog down. Don't let such critical comments bog you down, because if you and in the process lose your confidence. If you have the confidence, you can do it. That's all. That's what SapnoKePankh is all about, by the way. Rachna, what is your next question, Rachna?
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. It is very supportive, and I feel very confident. So my second question is, how does studying abroad lay ground for future opportunities in the context of it being different from pursuing the same degree in one's home country?
Right. That's a brilliant question, and I have 3 responses to this. I'm going to be very brief. I think studying the same course, of course, people who come from different, for example, development studies. In terms of practice, if I'm interested to work in India, of course, development studies will have much more nuance in India than, say, development studies at Soas. But the added advantage I feel of coming abroad and studying such a course is the diversity of experiences across the world that you're able to relate to. For example, if there is a revolution, say in India, then you can also relate to the strategies of protest, social activism in Cuba, and you can learn better, right? So I think this transnational solidarity you're able to form when you come out of your home country. Second is, I think, teaching style. I think I absolutely loved my time at SOAS only because of the wonderful faculty members here. In India, again, in college also it becomes a bit flexible, but again, some favoritism, some people who have better command over English are able to excel, so they are only favorited over. So I think that doesn't happen here. Language is of some factor, but language is not the dominant factor. In a classroom, if you're able to, in fact, it is encouraged, people who come from vulnerable backgrounds, because their narratives are not projected, their stories or their opinions are somehow emphasized over. Right. So the kind of confidence that gives you, oh my God, today in a classroom, I have a space in front of 140 students to talk about my story, and this is also some sort of ideology or some sort of discourse. I think that confidence you get, it's not something I think I would have gotten back in India, because I didn't have this sort of confidence even when I was in LSR. Right. So that definitely. Third, in terms of concrete future opportunities, it is all relative, because you become all the more confident, because you interact with people all over the world, you're naturally all the more well equipped to get any opportunity you want. So what I'm trying to say is that when you become so much better by yourself, when you become confident, when you have self-esteem, even if it's a very, very difficult job to get, because you'll have the required confidence, you will be able to get it. So I think the difference is not so much in terms of course or in terms of teaching materials, but how you will grow as a person.
The overall environment, the माहौल जो आपको मिलता है यहाँ पे.
that'll propel you further. And I think the confidence that you'll get is what will sort of set your experience different from what is in India. But I do want to say that, of course, India should also replicate Indian education, because not everyone cannot come to the UK, right? So, and it's important for our education system to become better. So that I think India should learn a lot from what is taught in the UK, and also networks you form. Like, you'll meet people even from India who go to Oxford, Cambridge. There's a cross-knit community that gets formed, and you get to learn a lot from these people also.
And on a lighter note, I know Sanjana had, in between her, after she completed her courses, she had a issue with accommodation, and then she had some friend in Oxford who had gone to India, and then she traveled like London से Oxford कम से कम 50-60 मील की दूरी पे 100 kilometers plus, and then she could move to Oxford, stay there, and that's the power of networking. Yes. And as a Chevening scholar, I think you have that elite team who would obviously alumni, and then everyone who would obviously help you and support you in the process. And then thank you. That was a brilliant answer. Those 3 points that you mentioned, Sanjana, I'm sure a lot of people who are watching this would be able to agree with you, and would also be able to relate to it. Rachana, thank you so much. आप सिक्किम में अभी काफ़ी रात हो गई होगी, but फिर भी आप you've come online with us and to talk to us, and really appreciate. Thank you so much, Rachana, for joining our show.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to be on the show.
Thank you, Rachana. So, Sanjana, coming towards the end of our discussion now, planning to come back for a PhD? Again, through another scholarship?
I actually have plans, not for a PhD, but for a second master's in social policy or public policy, but I want to apply in the US. So I'm trying to see if Fulbright might be a possible, it's my possible goal to get a Fulbright scholarship in the US though, not in the UK.
And then this is where I ask my favorite question now. What do you, or how do you give it back to India and to all everything that you have got from India? How do you give it back?
Yes. So before I begin, I want to say that I don't believe in individual stories. I think everything that an individual is able to build for themselves is a result of everything that the community has built. So I do believe in the growth of the community. So as I have come to London, I would like a lot of people from my state, especially from vulnerable backgrounds, to make it here as well. So I am a part of many organizations at the moment that seeks to mentor first generation learners, not only to get into institutions in India but also abroad, but also in professional spaces. So that is something that I want to definitely continue, more specifically to the state of Sikkim, because even other states like Assam from the northeast, it does get a little bit of focus, but states like Nagaland, Sikkim, I think we're quite far below, and I want to work towards that. Second, I definitely believe in I think education as a tool is so important, and especially the kind of education that I would want to work in. So education policy is the space that I want to work in, and eventually in some later years I do want to focus on Sikkim also, because we have brilliant students but we don't have opportunities. Government schools are in a terrible state, so working towards addressing that is also one of my goals. And later maybe electoral politics maybe in the state of Sikkim is something I definitely look forward to, because of 2 reasons. We need a lot of young people who have gotten exposure to certain kind of things to come back to the home state in Sikkim and fix the mess. It's quite a mess at the moment. Second, women in politics. It's been so many years we've not had we have 2-3 parliamentarians in the state out of 32 ministers. So we need more women in politics, of course, not just women with any kind of ideology, but women who are committed to socialism, women who are committed to the right kind of politics for everyone to grow together. So that is my plan. And like I said, everywhere I go, even if I make it to the US, even if I make it to any other master's degree, I don't want to live that in isolation. I want to constantly interact and constantly engage with other students for them to also, avail these opportunities, while also talking about the problems of education system back home. So it's like a two-in way.
That's very noble, and that's very brilliant. And that's, I think, one of our objectives also through SapnoKePankh. We stand up such mentors who have gone through this journey, who have gone through this struggle, and who can very ably mentor so many of you who are watching this. And thank you, Sanjana, for having that as one of your objectives. I'm sure a lot many students, both boys and girls, would get benefited from your mentorship. One request, what's the language you speak in Sikkim?
Nepali.
And how would you tell thank you to Sikkim in your native language?
Right. के भन्छ आई थिङ्क जति पनि मैले अलिकति जे पनि गरेँ मेरो कम्युनिटीको धेरै हार्ट लाइक ठुलो हार्ट छ एन्ड आई वान्ट टु से कि नेपाली बोल्दाखेरि या नेपालीहरू जस्तै सिक्किममा बस्दाखेरि हामीलाई यस्तो लाग्छ कि हाम्रो त यो सानो जग्गा हो, हामी यहाँबाट बाहिर निस्किनु सक्दैन, हामी बाहिर फेस गर्नु सक्दैन ठुलो स्टेटमा। त्यो एकदमै ठुलो मिथ हो। प्लिज बाहिर जानुहोस्, बाहिर एक्सप्लोर गर्नुहोस्। अन्त प्लिज अल्सो अगर तपाईँहरूलाई केही पनि सहायताको जरुरत छ, प्लिज रिच आउट टु मी एन्ड आई हेभ बेटर नेपाली, ट्रस्ट मी, बट आई एम जस्ट अ लिटल फ्राजल्ड राइट नाउ, बट या that's it.
So that's brilliant. Thank you, Sanjana, for being a part of SapnoKePankh and When Dreams Get Wings. And thank you for watching this brilliant story of Sanjana Chettri from Sikkim, who has made it as a chevening scholar and has wonderful aspirations, brilliant aspirations going forward in her life. As you all know, we keep coming back with such intriguing, such inspirational stories for the only reason that we want to bring out these wonderful gems out there so that so many of you, whether it's students, whether it's parents, whether it's teachers or professors, you know the kind of subjects that are available across the world. It's not about engineering and medical, which was the norm for many years. It still probably is. But apart from engineering and medical, there are so many subjects that one can choose from. There's so many avenues that one can choose from. And it's definitely possible, irrespective of whatever your academic career has been, you can still aspire to dream big and achieve it. That's what SapnoKePankh and When Dreams Get Wings is all about. Thank you for watching, and as I always say, do subscribe to our channel, do click on the bell icon, and do leave your comments so that we can keep bringing such unknown gems. And we also know what you are looking for, from not only from the stories perspective, but also from a mentorship perspective. If you need, we can still connect you with some of these, some of our gems who are, whether they're in India or whether they're abroad. But do keep writing back to us, leave your comments, and we would really appreciate that. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for loving SapnoKePankh. This is Rituraj from the Soas campus of London, signing off for now. Good night.
आँखों के गहराए निशान ढूंढे नई एक दिशा, धागे रोशनी के मांगे मेरी दुआ, जिंदगी ने दी सदा।